The day has finally come upon us. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to Epic the Musical, the Ithaca Saga. Now this was supposed to be last week originally, but things got really messed up last week, just due to a lot of different things. The holiday was last Monday, so that messed with recording and reactions. And then near the end of the week, we also had some issues pop up because of stuff, the reactions on Wednesday getting messed up. So just a bunch of fun. Messed up things a little bit, but we're back here today with the Ithaca Saga, and it's sad. It's sad that we're about done with this. That this is the end. But I mean, every great story has to come to a close. Can't go on forever. And as I've stated multiple times in the past, the Odyssey is perhaps the greatest story ever told. It is that well written and that, high quality. Plus, just that interesting. And this concept album musical has been fantastic. From the fantastic voices that have given it life, to the great writing by Jorge that has just elevated these moments from the story, and just the awesome visuals of all the different animatics we've seen from all these different great creators. And I'm very excited to see this end. And I know how this ends, because again, I've read the Odyssey. And while there's some things I didn't fully remember, I do know how this ends. And so I'm very, very curious to see how this is portrayed here. Now, we got 5 songs here, and that means 5 more animatics. Let me go over them real quick. Also, I have downloaded them to make this run smoother and everything, so we don't have to worry about any issues in terms of YouTube fucking me over. That means we aren't going to have subtitles, though, so I apologize for that ahead of time. But it's like a sacrifice I wanted to make, because it's like I didn't want any more issues with this. Anyway, we should be able to understand what is being said anyways, though. It's all in English, so. The first one we have is The Challenge, and this is going to be by GWENDY NS2D Studios, which we've seen at least one thing from GWENDY before. I think maybe 2 animatics. But this isn't an animatic. This is a full animation for this one. So that's going to be really interesting. The second we have is Hold Them Down by Mr. Gameron. This is also a full animation rather than an animatic. So that's really cool as well. We're kind of ending on like big notes here with some full animations. Hold Them Down, yeah, I know what that's like gonna be getting into. Mr. Gameron is definitely someone we have not seen before, so I'm very curious to see a different style there. The third one is Odysseus by Duvet Box. We have seen Duvet Box a couple times in these animatics before, so it's going to be good to see their work again. The fourth song is I Can't Help But Wonder, and this is by Shamina Notzel, who we've also seen before, and as always, apologize if I am mispronouncing that. But yeah, we've seen their work before as well, so going to be good to see how they handle that. And our last one, the fifth one, is Would You Fall in Love with Me Again? And this is by Comic Fodder. This is a new one. We have not had any animatics or anything from Comic Fodder before. Um, and for the last one, it's I feel like I want to see like someone new. Plus, honestly, I don't think I saw any animatics when I was looking them up because I talked about this before, but the playlist I had been using kind of got fucked up. Or no, it got deleted. Um, so I didn't really have a playlist to go off of anymore because the playlist got deleted or the channel got deleted, one or the other. And so it's like I just had to like kind of look them up and I just found ones that, you know, looked like they worked. With the first two, I just happened to find ones that were like full animations. It's like, oh yeah, I'm going with those. And one of them was someone we've already seen before. So, GWENDY. And then I also saw for others Duvet Box and Shamina, so I went with those since they're ones we've seen before. But for Ithaca, or not Ithaca, for Hold Them Down and Would You Fall in Love with Me Again, I decided to go with a couple more new ones because I want to showcase some other creators, some other animatic makers as well. But yeah, so this is going to be how this all ends. And I'm very, very invested to see the close to this. So let's get this started and hope for the best. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, I'm going to say this right off the bat because I think I would rather start with the negatives and get to the positives because most of this is going to be positive. My one real negative here is that you could kind of almost say this about like the entire musical in general. It feels a little bit rushed, which is weird to say because it's we've had like all of this like building into this finale, and so now it's like, oh, just he kills the suitors, reunites with Telemachus, and then reunites with Penelope. She gives him the test of the bed, and he reveals that he still remembers how it was made and what it was made from and what it means to them, and that's all she needs to know. But I don't know, maybe it's just because like with this story I typically think of it through the actual story, the actual Odyssey, and it's because of that I feel like it did kind of like zoom through it pretty quickly. Or maybe that's just because I was enjoying it a lot. But in kind of that regard, I guess this is like a second mini issue. I don't think any of the songs particularly stood out to me. Like, I don't think any of the songs in this one are ones I would really go out of my way to listen to over and over again on the same level as something like Ruthlessness. And don't get me wrong, all the songs were good in this. All 5 of these songs were good. None of them were bad. None of them I would even say are weak. But they didn't entirely live up to me, or live up to the level of some of the other songs for me. And that's just personal preferences and all on like what I like with music. It's entirely subjective, of course. But none of them were bad, and they definitely had the scale and feeling of the finale. which is what you want anyway. Um, but I'm gonna I usually I think save this for like the end, but I'm just gonna talk about this now. I think out of them, my favorite, just based on the song, my favorite is probably Hold Them Down, which is wild to think about considering what that song is about. But the song itself is just more my kind of style of music. My least favorite, in terms of, again, just the song, is probably Would You Fall in Love with Me Again. I know that might be heresy. I know that like might you might like hear me say that and like be like, what the fuck are you talking about? How is that your least favorite? It's like that's literally what everything was working up towards. It's like, yes, but just from a music perspective. That's all I'm saying. Is like, I'm not talking about the meaning, the depth behind it and everything. I'm talking about just from the music perspective. It would be my least favorite. In terms of the visuals, in terms of the animations and animatics themselves, my favorite is easily Hold Them Down as well. The puppet like visuals to it, the puppet like 3D visuals, and the like the lighting and the different effects and styles they use is phenomenal. Like, I would genuinely go out of my way to say that's probably one of the best fan animations I've seen on YouTube, period. Like, that's how good that is. And in terms of my least favorite, just visually speaking, probably the last one as well. It's weird that they kind of align like that, musically and visually. Would You Fall in Love with Me Again? This one by what was it? Let me get the name again real quick here. Comic Fodder. Um, I don't know. It's like I understand, like, obviously the ideas of making Odysseus look a lot more ragged and everything, but I don't know. The line work just didn't work as well to me as others have in this entire journey of animatics that we've watched. But also the some of it like was a little messy to me. It looked like compared to others, even in this same video. Like duvet boxes was a lot more cleanly handled and whatnot. So it's just the messiness of it. Not as much my thing. I know some people are really into like messy animatics that look like really sketchy and whatnot. I like them to look a little more like, you know, well drawn. When they're too messy looking still, it really feels like it's one step behind what I feel like it should be. And I'm not saying it's bad by any means. I'm not saying that Comic Fodder's animatic was bad. It very much wasn't. Especially the ending where they finally kissed, like after like showing that it like flipping between their different looks throughout the 20 years. It's like I loved that. But that was the only part of that animatic that I really think worked that well, personally. And it's just a personal view. It's just what I look for in a lot of these kind of animatics. So it's completely fine, completely fair if you disagree. I don't mind at all. Just as always, be nice about it. No need to be rude. No need to start a fight because I don't like something in the same way as someone else. Um, but let's talk about them one by one. So the first one we have here is the challenge, and this is sung by Penelope. It's not the first time we've heard her sing, but it's the first time she gets like a song to herself, you know? Because we've heard her sing like I think a couple times in like dream sequences or Odysseus's like imagination and whatnot. Um, I don't know if we've seen her before, like in the animatics, like during like the Wisdom Saga. I don't remember if she's actually sang. I don't think she has outside of like again Odysseus's backstories and stuff. Is it the same actress who sang when the siren was impersonating her? Because that in that case we've heard her sing it then as well. But either way, Um, so here is where she chooses to finally confront the suitors. And she gives them a challenge. She tells them, if you can string King Odysseus's bow and fire an arrow through all these axes have holes at the same point. They're all lined up. If you can fire a hole cleanly through them without, touching any of them, then you can be king. It's a challenge that is impossible because none of these suitors, even the ones who may be good with a bow, have the level of skill that Odysseus would. Odysseus was basically a prodigy. That's one of the reasons why Athena took him on. And, with her training, he became even more skilled. He became a warrior of the mind. And so, him being able to do that would be like a no-brainer, but someone else being able to do it, no. Absolutely not. And she knows this. She sets forth an impossible challenge that she knows they can't accomplish to basically buy time. And that's kind of the point. She's trying to buy time so that Odysseus can get back. And the animation for this one is very beautiful. It like really like highlights Penelope's like beauty and grace and whatnot. Um, but after that, we have Hold Them Down by Mr. Gameron. So this is from the perspective of the suitors, most notably the main suitor. I can't remember his name once again. But the one who, had been highlighted before and was fighting with Telemachus and everything. We find out through this that Telemachus has been gone. He's been on a diplomatic mission, and he's on his way back. But while he's gone, the suitors are plotting. And they are plotting to not only kill Telemachus to keep him out of the way as he returns, but to also like finally enact what they had been talking about before. This is not like new information, but finally enact their plan to take the throne by force, and in doing so, rape Penelope. And again, they do not hold back on this. They make it very blatant. This song is extremely dark and extremely intense. It's even, I would even go as far to say scary because of what they're talking about doing. Combined with the hauntingly amazing visuals that we got from Mr. Gameron's animation here. And it combines to make it just so much better. It's like the visuals enhance the song and the song enhances the visuals. It's so phenomenal and crazy and just so dark. And it ending with the dude getting the arrow through his throat is like very satisfying, but also like very just shocking in the moment, even though I knew that was coming. And it's just like, well, okay then. That is powerful. That is just a powerful song, a powerful visual. Everything about that is powerful. And then we go into the Odysseus song. And this song kind of, or this animatic and song, animatic by Duvet Box, is all about Odysseus returning to Ithaca, making himself known to the suitors and hunting them down and killing them with a little help from Telemachus, a little bit of an assist there, but he hunts them down and kills them to take back his kingdom after having heard what they were planning on doing to Telemachus and Penelope. And so this one is showcasing the dark side of Odysseus that has been forged through all of his Odyssey. Every adventure, every journey, every mistake, every bit of just pain he's been through, every bit of hubris that he's had to pay for, everything comes to a head here, where he, without any semblance of mercy, without any semblance of open arms, he violently hunts them down like the dogs they are. And it's satisfying because we know how evil they are. It makes it very clear, and he knows how evil they are, so he feels nothing about killing them. And it's also sad to see that Odysseus has come this far, that he has become this kind of person. But we also understand it's like they were literally talking about raping his wife. Like, he has a right to go off on them like that. Like, they were going to rape his wife and kill his son. It's like, yeah, I think he has a reason to, like, snap there. But mind you, we also know the reason he snapped. And we know that this had been coming because of the prophecy in the underworld. We knew that when he returned home, he was not going to be the same man. And so it's like we're seeing that in action with this song and animatic. And so it's also very intense, showing a lot of like very intense imagery, including like gore and whatnot. Like the arrow shooting through and popping out the eyeball. It's like, Jesus. But it's so good. It's like, it's a combination of everything he's been through and him just letting loose on some truly evil people. And after that, we have I Can't Help But Wonder with the animatic by Shamina Natsel. This one is him reuniting with his son and with Athena. So he finally gets to meet his son for the first time since he was a baby 20 years ago. And they just get to talk to each other, to just, embrace, to really meet each other. Because again, he was a baby when Odysseus left. Odysseus never got to know him. Because you're an entirely different person at 20 than you are as a baby. Like, Telemachus obviously was shaped a lot by the stories of his father and everything, and having to protect his mother. But he's a person that Odysseus has never met. And so now they get to. And Odysseus is someone that, likewise, Telemachus has never met. He's heard all these grand stories, but he's never actually truly known him. And so it's a really satisfying moment of a father and son who never really knew each other, getting to finally embrace, getting to finally, after 20 years, meet. And that's something that's like just emotional and satisfying. And then we see Athena return as well and get to have like one last bit of closure with Odysseus. It's like after everything she did, like, to literally save him and everything. And she didn't even say anything about that. And he didn't say anything about, like, her being the one to get him off the island or whatnot. None of that came up. Instead, it was just them reuniting and, just connecting again. I don't know if I'd say their relationship is completely restored, but they got to reconnect, and it meant a lot to both of them, you could tell. And then finally, of course, you have Will You Fall in Love With Me Again? Or Would You Fall in Love With Me Again? And once again, this was by, the animatic was by Comic Fodder. And this was just the reuniting of Odysseus and Penelope. Even more so than with Telemachus, what we've been, like, building towards this entire musical, and in the case of the Odyssey, what the entire story was building towards. Odysseus finally gets to reunite with his wife, but he's so damaged by everything he's gone through, he feels unworthy. He feels like he's too much of a different person for her. And this woman who had been waiting for 20 years, who had been holding off these suitors for so long, who has been just dreaming of the moment that he would return. She's basically telling him this. She's basically telling him, it's like, bitch, I have been waiting for you for 20 years. You don't get to have a pity party right now. Like, get over here. Get over here and kiss me, you fool. And you know, like, there would be a lot more than kissing going on. But he's so, like, broken and hurt, and he feels like he doesn't want to hurt her with that. And so she comes up with this test. She asks him, will you move this wedding bed for me? And he's like, I can't. How can you ask this of me? I can't move this. It's built into the olive tree. It is carved into the olive tree. I literally cannot move it. It's the olive tree where we first met. I carved it into the tree as a sign of our love, as a sign of my love for you. You know I can't move this. And she's like, exactly. That's what I wanted to hear. She's like, this proves that no matter how much you may have changed, how much you may have gone through, you are still the Odysseus I married. You are still the Odysseus I have been waiting for. You are my husband. And you have not forgotten where you have come from. You have not forgotten what has led you back here. And you have not forgotten everything that you love. And so I will fall in love with you again, over and over and over, as many times as it takes. And they finally embrace and they finally kiss, and it's goddamn beautiful. It's like, it's the perfect end. It's exact. Even if the song and the animatic for me personally are the weakest of this saga, it's still the perfect way for this to end. With these two reuniting with this beautiful, soft sound, with just the culmination of everything coming to a head. It's like, this is how this closes out. And it's the only way it could close out. And that's what it needed to be. After 20 long years, Odysseus has finally returned. He has his wife and son back. Everything is good again. Mind you, the story of Odysseus does continue past the events of the Odyssey, and may not go super well after that. For those who may not know, after the events of the Odyssey, Odysseus does get killed by his other son, Telegonus, I think his name is, who is the son of Odysseus and Circe. Enough said there. You understand. But yeah, it's that's not obviously going to be in this, though, because this Epic the Musical is just the Odyssey. And I believe Jorge has announced that there is going to be a prequel musical to this. I think he's calling it Ilum. And it's obviously going to be based off the Iliad, which is the prequel to the Odyssey. So that's going to be interesting to see that all. Which means we'll probably get Achilles, I would assume, because that's going to be like focused a lot on the Trojan War and everything. We'll obviously have Odysseus back and all these other warriors of that time. So yeah. I don't know the Iliad as well as the Odyssey, but I think I read the Iliad once. But I'm very, very interested nonetheless to eventually, when that comes out, to react to that as well. But that kind of begs a question now. With all of this being done, what do we do now? Because like obviously we have plenty of other things to get to in terms of YouTube reactions and stuff. But it's like I kind of really enjoyed this. And I've been thinking of seeing if I could check out maybe another musical or two. And I don't know 100% if I'm going to do this right now. I'm not going to promise anything. But I was thinking if there are animatics for all of the songs, I was thinking of maybe doing Hadestown. Because I've never heard anything from Hadestown. And it's also based on Greek mythology. So I would think that that could be a pretty cool thing to check out. Um, see see some animatic versions of that and everything. I'm not going to promise anything right now, and I'm not going to say I will be doing it. And if I do happen to do it, it won't be for a while. But I've been thinking about it. So let me know if you would like to see reactions to Hadestown and everything, to the songs slash animatics. And with all of that being said, tell me your thoughts on this final saga, the Ithaca saga of Epic the Musical. Tell me your thoughts on these songs. Which one is your favorite? Which animatic was your favorite? How do you think about how this ended and everything? Let me know down below. And thank you, as always, so much for tuning in. Sucks that it's finally over, but I am so happy to have been along for this ride. And like I said, we'll have plenty of other YouTube video reactions on future Mondays, so a lot more stuff to come. In the meantime, thank you so much once again for tuning in. I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.